Alright, hey guys, it's Jeffrey, also known as the Thetatless Barber here. So this video that I'm going to be presenting you is going to be about shears, and the company that we'll be talking about is Fresh Shears. And so what's good about Fresh Shears is that their prices, their shears start at $100, and obviously it costs more if it's going to be a left-handed shear or if it's going to be like a swivel or like a double swivel shear. But what Fresh Shears has is that they do a subscription service about you can get your shears replaced like every 6, 8, or 12 months, so you don't have to worry about them getting sharpened, because if you don't have a good sharpener near you, they can actually destroy your shears, which actually will shorten your lifespan of your scissors. So the shears that I'm going to be talking about from that brand is going to be the 35 texture shear, the Mackay 6-inch cut, just regular cutting shear, and then I think it's called their Pay 6-inch shear. So I prefer 6-inch shears over like 5.5 or 6.5 or 7. So I got small hands, so 6 is about as big as I'll go from there. So of course the 35 is a 35 tooth texture or blending shear, whatever you're going to use it for. And this will cut from anywhere from 30 or 35% of your weight line. And then of course Mackay, this is their most sold or most versatile shear. So you're going to be able to do like any blunt precision work with it, dry cutting, and then of course like point cutting and all that good stuff with this. This is supposed to be their best overall versatile shear. And then their Pay, which is their newest one, is going to be a fan blade. So it's not going to push or pull the hair. And so if you're looking for some scissors, when they do scissor over comb, they can sometimes fight with the hair. This is not going to fold the hair or push it away. This is going to be able to take very good precise cuts with it, but also you'll be able to do normal cutting and point cutting with it. And so the Fresh Shears, like I said, I don't think it's going to focus, but it just says Fresh on there. It's got kind of like a matte handle, and then it goes into shiny. So it does have an offset, and for $100, the quality is not bad at all from what I could feel so far. Like I said, I will kind of give you more thoughts on it once I cut with them to see how they are, because like I said, not every barbers or hairstylists are going to want to pay a lot of money for scissors. Yeah, because like I said, these are $100, and so, and especially if you're wanting to get better shears as a beginner barber when you don't know if you want to do this for the rest of your career, this is a good one to get with, because it's a subscription service. If you end up liking the shears that you have, you can change them out for other ones at the same price, or you might have to charge extra if you want a swivel or anything like that. So they give you options where you try these out. If you don't, you can swap them out for the $50 for the sharpening, for that, like what that sharpening fee is, and then you'll get a new scissor. They want to make sure that you're going to be happy with any type of scissor that you're going to have. And like I said, this is $100. My daily workhorse ones that I use are $900. These are my Mizutani Score Master Pink Flamingo shears. These are really expensive. These ones I'm going to have to get sharpened every time. And like I said, $900. And so, like I said, this are made in Japan though, but these are, like I said, top of the line. Not a lot of people are going to want to drop $900. You don't have to. Because like I said, these have 440C steel in it. And then of course, if you do look at the inside of the shear, it does say PRC. So it is made in China. And so like I said, this uses a 440C steel, which is a very common steel and a good quality steel that you'll see with your scissors. So like one brand that has 440C steel and they charge a lot of money for their 440C is Hanzo. And so if you look at the Hanzo Talent, it is a 440C shear. I know like the Hanzo rep we had, he said it's like a nano powder 440C, but it's a 440C steel. And like I said, those talons can go anywhere from $600 to $700 depending on your sizes. Because what's so messed up about them is that if you want it like a ½ inch taller, you're gonna have to spend like 10 or 15 bucks more for that. Where like with Fresh Shears, it's 5.5 for, this is the pay that I have right now, but $100 for the 5.5 pay, $100 for 6, $100 for 6.5. So they're not going to move up on the prices no matter the length. And so, and also these are made in China, just like Hanzo. So even though it's made in China, does not mean it's bad. Because I do have a pair of above shears that are made in China, and I freaking love these. But again, not the cheapest. So my plan is, and with Fresh Shears, since they partnered with me on this, which I appreciate that they did, this is I'm gonna give you guys a honest review and see if it's worth the $100. But already from the quality that I'm feeling, it already feels great. And I already have one pair of Fresh Shears that I've been using pretty consistent. I love them. Is the Koa 14 texture shear. I absolutely love this one when I want to get max texture and I just don't want to point cut all day. This one has been absolutely awesome for me. So I can already tell you right now, this Koa 14, it's pretty awesome. Because if you're really wanting a texture shear and you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you don't know if you're gonna like them, Fresh Shears got that Koa 14 tooth. This is awesome. But like I said, I'm gonna give these a review, and like I said, I'm not gonna compare them. I'm not gonna compare them to Mizutani. I'm not. It's totally different price ranges. This is $800 more than this. Different steel, different quality. That's not where I'm at. If you're just wanting a good scissor that's gonna be well above its budget or well above its price range and do a good job, that is what Fresh Shears is for. If you're not wanting to spend that much amount of money and have a good quality shear, that's where I'm at with them. And so I'm gonna give this a try. I'm also, if some clients are allowing me, I'm gonna try to allow them to let me film of me using them as well. And if not, then I'll give you my feedback after I give about 2 weeks worth of try on both of the Pay, the Makai, and the Comma 35 shear. But I do appreciate you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, so quick update for all you guys. So this is something that sometimes happens with some companies, but sometimes, quality will be missed at times. So this is not anything on Fresh Shears. Sometimes it just happens because, like I said, I got the Makai, I got a 7-inch Makai, and then also I got a thinner and a texturizer. All of those work great from the 4 that I have. It's just for some reason this Pay 6-inch I have, the tightening knob does not want to tighten at all. And so with that being said, it just keeps staying like, it just keeps wanting to do this. It doesn't have any tension. And even I tried. So there was just one little issue. But thankfully, Fresh Shears, I reached out to them, let them know. They sent me another one out. And so now what I can do is show you kind of how the Fresh Shear program was. So they'll get you with your label on it, and it'll show like where it's going to Fresh Shears. And all you have to do is mail it back. So I'm getting rid of this old one. Now I got another shiny new pair. So all you have to do is just get the old pair, put them back in. And now I got it just ready to go to drop back at Fresh Shears. So that's one cool thing, one easy thing of what they're gonna do with like the Fresh Shear programs once you do your subscription. So like I said, I love all my other ones. Like I said, I'll put my final thoughts on them once I start getting used to this Pay. But like I said, all of them have been great so far, just except for that one. All right, everyone. So this is like 6 months later, final conclusion. I wanted to give all these scissors a really, really good test run before I say anything, because I can say anything after 2 months and say they're good, or a week and they can still be sharp. I wanted to give these 6 to 7 months use before I gave you guys my final conclusion. So all these were tried and true. So we'll start off with just going not by order. Just want to grab first. So the Koa 14. So again, this is one that I actually bought before they sent me some. And so this is a great texturizer. And I always get kind of scared with brands that are more affordable with their thinning shears or texture shears, because they tend to pull like crap. I haven't messed with the tension since I bought it. So I moved it once, so it's been keeping its tension, and it gives really good texture. It's not pulling. I have not yet to have a single complaint from a client from using this, and that's me using it, wet hair and dry hair, using it. I absolutely love this texturizer, and I will continue to absolutely just abuse this thing. And it's, like I said, it's a beauty. Matte handle, shine on the blade. Like I said, it's everything that I've been looking for to use in a texturizer. Because I didn't know if I wanted a texturizer, hence why I went with Fresh Shears first, because it's $100. But I won't be using another texturizer. I'm going to be sticking with the Koa. So the next one I want to talk about is the Kama 35 thinning or blending shear, whatever you want to call it. So I use this a lot to do scissor over comb, to be blending in the top with the sides at times. And then also, if some people want their hair thin but they don't really want texturized, I'll go in with that too. And again, sometimes I get worried, like I said, about thinning and texture shears. This hasn't pulled at all. This has been fantastic. Like I said, the tension is staying awesome. Again, I was very surprised with these, because usually if you, like I said, buy cheap thinning or texture shears or blending shears, it will cause issues. But with the affordability, these are still great quality. And so I absolutely love these as well. And I use these a lot. Like I said, I use the Squirm Master blending shears for some blending stuff. And then I'll also use these as well. And those have been coming in handy, because like I said, the Squirm ones have this on top and has the cutting blade on the bottom. This one I use for different purpose outside of Mizutani's, and like I said, these get abused a lot. Now I'm going to go with the Pay Scissor. Like I said, you can see how different this blade is compared to like the normal blade on the bottom. So this one's going to be a lot of your scissor over comb type of techniques, or if you want to do some slide cutting with the hair. Like I said, I really like the scissor. Did everything I needed to do. Super nice and sharp. Like I said, the first one I had, the tension tool wasn't working. Sometimes there's going to be little quality mishaps, but like I said, all my other ones, even my Makai 7-inch that I didn't bring up here, everything worked good. It was just that one that I had a problem with. Everything else has worked great. So that's a pretty good percentage out of all of them. Like I said, it's done great. It does great with point cutting, with dry cutting as well, and with wet cutting. It does really good with precision. It's just a different scissor than what I'm not used to using. Like I said, it's still a good one, but it still wouldn't be the one that I'd recommend everyone to use if they're just looking for a all-around everyday scissor. The Makai is. But this is still a really good one. Like I said, 6-inch shear. Just because I prefer 6-inch shear over 5.5. But I am starting to do a lot more precision with 5.5, so I will definitely have to get a Fresh Shear with a 5. I'll definitely have to get a 5.5-inch Fresh Shear. And so my favorite shear out of all of them, which is pretty boring, I guess you could say, because this is their best seller, is the Makai. This does everything that I need it to do. It cuts wet hair like a champ, dry hair like a champ. I don't have to go over. It's nice and sharp, very precise. And then again, like I said, it's keeping its tension. And like I said, I've been abusing the hell out of this. So ever since I got it, I've been using this as my primary shear. And like I said, 6 months later, it's still cutting, has not pulled the hair, it's not pulled. I haven't need to go over a section with this. It's been doing great.
And so, because I wanted to test it out like everyone else would be, where they'd use it primarily as their only shear, and it's done great. Like I've used the pay from time to time and everything like that, but this one has been my heavy hitter, and I definitely need to get a Mackay 5.5 inch shear for my precision stuff, just because of how much I've enjoyed this. Um, and so, like I said, ergonomics works just fine, all that good stuff. Overall, Fresh Shears is a really good product, man. If you're looking for shears for a good, cheap price, but still have amazing quality, these are the way to go. Like I said, I was skeptical at first, but they're actually quite amazing. Like I said, the metal clearly is truly good 440C because it's been holding its edge very well, especially after 6 months. Because I have a coworker over here that has Hanzo's, and his Hanzo Talons, he has to get those resharpened like every 4 to 6 months. And so far at the 6 month, 7 mark, these are still holding up way better than Hanzo's. And so I've heard a lot of issues with that. So with their holding an edge and everything, but this has done a way better job and for a fraction of the price, because those Talons, they go up in prices with by every half inch you go, the price goes up more. These stay the same. 6, 5.5, 6.5, 7. It stays the $99 that it is, unless you do a swivel or double swivel. So I really do appreciate Fresh Shears for sending me a nice little care package on these things. And not to mention, one of my favorite barber influencers is doing a collab with them. Sean Cuts Hair is going to be doing a collab where he's going to have a thinning scissor, 5.5, and a 6.5 combo with a feather razor, or you can buy them separately coming up soon. So I'm really interested in getting those because Sean Cuts Hair is the reason why um, I've stuck around barbering. Like his fading is what I do. Pretty much everything I've done, I've learned off of him. So he's been my biggest inspiration for barbering and from educational learning outside of school. So again, if you guys have been skeptical about Fresh Shears, I highly recommend you to try them out. It has been amazing for me. And like I said, subscription, you don't have to get them resharpened. You just send them out for $50 for each one to get a new fresh pair. So that's still a win right there. You don't have to worry about sharpening or anything. So that's a win. Ones I'm also interested in trying is I do want to try later on in the future too, besides the Sean Kitts hairs, is I definitely want to try the Matsui 6.75 inch shear. And I want to try like the Kick 5 inch scissor. And then I want to also try obviously the Mackay 5.5 inch shear. And then I want to try, is it the Umni or Omni dry cutting texture shear as well. I do want to give those a try too. So they've kept me completely invested in them. And like I said, they stand by their products, and they have excellent customer service, and they do care about what you have to say about their products. And like I said, I think it's absolutely amazing. Um, the hype is real on them. Like I said, definitely worth getting, especially for the quality and the price you have. So like I said, they look good, but they also don't blow you out of the way. But you're not using these for aesthetics. You're using this to get the work done. And like I said, they do a great job. And also make sure you always handle them with care too, as well. They'll treat you good as long as you treat them good as well. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and you guys have a great rest of your day.